Welcome to Shorehaven. In today's video, I am beginning the construction of a true Dutch-style canal city. Throughout this series, I will walk you step by step through how to design a canal network, how to use the Netherlands region PAX buildings effectively, and how to build a transport system that fits the Dutch aesthetic. Let's get started. Let's build a canal system. First of all, most Dutch cities are literally shaped by their canals. They are perfect for ferry transport and they create an iconic atmospheric city layout. So the very first thing I do is establish the canal system. After selecting a relatively flat map, I began carving out the canals. Honestly, I expected this part to be difficult, but the basics are surprisingly simple. You just use the level terrain tool, which allows the water to naturally flow into the canal. Of course, several practical questions came up during this process. First of all, the canal width. At first, I used a radius of 50 to 100 for the canal width. But if you are planning to use ferries later, I highly recommend at least 120 to 150 width. Even though ferries appear small, their navigation path is huge compared to the channel itself. I ended up rebuilding the canals wider, and it was absolutely worth it. The second can be the water flow issues. You may also run into a situation where the canal simply doesn't fill with enough water. This usually happens when the incoming flow is too weak. In that case, you can try one of two solutions. On one hand, you can deepen the canal so the water can settle more easily, or on the other hand, create a denser canal network so the river flows into it from multiple directions. Consequently, the more incoming water means a more stable canal. The third is the tree problem, but it is the easiest to fix it. Definitely, it is an aesthetic problem, but a really annoying one. The game leaves tons of trees inside the canal. Well, City Skylines doesn't always care about natural laws, apparently. So let's see how can fix it. Of course, you could manually delete each tree with right-click, but that is painfully slow and extremely frustrating. Instead, I recommend using the narrow boatway tool. Drawing a boatway automatically clears the trees from the terrain and also from the water. It is dramatically faster. I just wish I had realized this earlier. Once the basic canal system is in place, it is time to start designing the road network. I am using wider streets here, avenues and boulevards, because I am expecting a high volume of income traffic. Since these islands are mostly square or rectangular, a grid-based layout works best, but I still try to shape the main roads with gentle curves wherever possible to keep the city feelings natural, not mechanical. My goal at this stage is to build a large functional road structure early on, so later I can focus entirely on construction and detailing. Let's build the secondary roads. After the main arteries are in place, it is time to add the smaller streets. Here I am using the grid construction tool, which many of you will recognize from SimCity 5 or SimCity 2013. It is fast, clean and fits perfectly with the Dutch island layout that Shorehaven is based on. Because I recorded this footage in late October before the bike update was released, you won't see bicycles yet. But once they are added, they will absolutely enhance the Dutch atmosphere of the city. Here I start to build the first Dutch garden houses and shops, but placing industrial zones is always a critical decision in City Skylines too. You must ensure the wind direction won't blow pollution toward your residential districts. For Shorehaven, I decide to build the industrial area right next to the highway. This location has several advantages. The excellent access for freight traffic and the fewer service vehicles cutting through residential zones, and most importantly, pollution stays far away from the population. It is practical, efficient, and it won't ruin the look or health of the central district. Now, let's take a look at how the residential and commercial areas come together. For this build, I am using the Netherlands region pack, which is completely free for all City Skylines 2 players and available through the Paradox Workshop. The pack includes a wide variety of zoned residential buildings, especially the classic Dutch row houses and garden homes. These garden houses aren't only useful for a Dutch-style city, they work beautifully in any suburban layout as well. However, the pack doesn't include commercial buildings, so for shops I am using a mix of standard European commercial buildings, some Eastern European low-density assets from the region packs, and if you own the Bridges and Ports DLC, the waterfront commercial buildings also fit surprisingly well. One of my favorite parts of the Netherlands pack is the townhouses. They instantly capture the atmosphere of a real Dutch city, narrow fronts, repeating facades, and lots of character. They are also perfect for filling in awkward gaps or irregular corners in the layout. Since this is a fully Dutch-themed city, I will be using the Netherlands pack for almost everything, with only high-density residential and commercial zones coming from other styles, simply because those assets don't exist in the pack. I really love the mood of these buildings. They have clean shapes, calm colors, and they feel incredibly realistic. Huge credit goes to the creators Findboard, Guzzi, Gruni, and Rivo for putting together such an atmospheric and high-quality collection. You know, working with these Dutch buildings really reminds me why I enjoy city building so much. When the assets look this good, it's hard not to get inspired and keep creating. And if my Shorehaven project gives you ideas or motivates you to start your own canal city, then feel free to subscribe. I would be happy to have you along for the next steps. Community buildings in the Netherlands pack are not only beautiful, many of them are actually cheaper than their counterparts in other architectural styles. This applies to schools, colleges, or even universities. Naturally, I started with an elementary school, and since the population is still quite small, I lowered its budget to avoid going too deep into deficit. In City Skylines 2, reaching a profitable economy is noticeably harder than in City Skylines 1. But once you do manage to stabilize it, the city becomes much more durable financially, and as it grows, it can even outperform a City Skylines 1 city in long-term income. This is mostly because parks in City Skylines 1 were large and expensive to maintain, and unique buildings often drain the budget. In City Skylines 2, however, we have many small low-maintenance parks, and signature buildings can actually generate significant revenue as long as you have enough residents or workers to operate them. That's why it is worth expanding your revenue sources by building signature buildings from other styles as well. For example, the British region packs, which mostly include small pubs and restaurants. These are inexpensive to maintain, but they can generate a steady income and help keep your city budget in the positive. Parking lots are a completely new feature in City Skylines 2. They technically existed in the final update of City Skylines 1 as well, but they didn't really do anything there. You mostly just saw the infamous pocket cars appearing in them. In City Skylines 2, however, parking actually matters. You have to be very careful about where and how you place these lots, because poor planning can easily lead to serious traffic congestion across your entire city. Since I designed the road network with enough open space between the blocks, placing parking lots here will be quite easy. And in general, it is a good idea to keep some distance between your main roads and the smaller neighborhood streets. Visually, it looks more realistic, and practically it gives you plenty of room to add things later, whether that's parking, pedestrian areas, bike paths, or even a tram line you forgot to plan ahead. I also really enjoy using the Dutch pack because the buildings feel so close to people and close to nature. That's exactly why I chose a more natural style for the decoration as well. I try to fill the empty spaces with trees and bushes. Of course, you can use paving stones too, or decals, but for this city the greener look works much better. Since we have reached level 3, the medium-density residential buildings have unlocked as well. I really like how nicely they fit into the existing zones. The game's algorithm also does a surprisingly good job placing corner buildings exactly on the corners, which adds another layer of realism to the whole city. It is a small detail, but it really gives the game an extra charm. I am continuously expanding the through roads, and in this city I want every island to have a clear edge, so the entire layout feels structured and intentional. At the beginning, I thought that since there was no public transport yet, I could manage traffic using one-way streets. This wasn't necessarily the best idea. These narrow streets work fine at first, but over time they attract a lot of traffic, and eventually this creates bigger problems. I will only realize this later when I start introducing buses and trams into the city. So that wraps up the first part of building my Dutch canal city named Shorehaven. Thank you very much for watching this video, and if you enjoy it, please let me know with a comment, a like, or by subscribing to the channel. We will continue soon with the next City Skylines 2 episode. I will see you there. Have a great day and happy city building.